Hello everyone, it's me Zoe, and today I'm back with another video. Today I'm showing you a staple dinner recipe that I make all the time. It's super versatile, it takes less than 30 minutes, and it's high protein and high fiber. For ingredients, you're gonna need 2 bell peppers, a can of tomatoes, some quinoa, half an onion, and then some ground turkey. I like the 93% lean, and then a can of black beans. I also like to add some cheese on top, so mozzarella is what I use. Alright, now let's get into the actual steps. So first things first, you're going to preheat your oven to 375. And next, while we're making the rest of the dinner, I'm going to put some quinoa in my rice cooker. You can also use white rice, it's just going to be a little bit less fiber and protein. I did a little less than a cup of quinoa because that's just all I had left. I also always salt it just for a little extra flavor, and then I just set it and forget it. I also like to set the vibes of dinner. I like to play some music and I'll light a candle usually just to make the ambiance a little more enjoyable. So now we're going to get into some chopping. I'm just getting out my cutting board here and we're going to take out our 2 bell peppers. It doesn't matter what color, you use whatever you like. Now for my stuffed peppers, I do it a little bit differently than other people I've seen. So I cut it from top to bottom instead of just taking the top off. I don't know why, I just feel like it's a little bit easier. So I cut it in half from top to bottom and then I just carve out that center piece. Now be very careful obviously when doing this. If you are a child watching this, use parental guidance. So I just carve out the insides until I just have little pepper shells left, and so I will end up with 4 with 2 peppers. Now the amounts for the stuffing are enough to have leftovers, but if you're making this for more than 2 people, I would recommend using 1 pepper per person. So I'm just cooking here for me and my boyfriend, so we're using 2 bell peppers. So I'm placing my little shells in a 9x9 pan and I'm just spraying them down with a little bit of oil, and we're going to place those in the oven on 375 for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then next up, we're just going to dice up our half of an onion. I'm just peeling off the outer shell layer here. And then I like to make incisions almost all the way through, but not quite. So you'll see here I'm making shallow incisions, and then it makes it so much easier to dice at the end. So you just dice like normal, and then it gets you these really nice little diced pieces. And once we're done chopping, we're just gonna set that aside in a bowl. It's gonna go in our stuffing in a little bit. Now we're gonna get out a medium to large sized pan. I'm using a stainless steel one here, and I'm gonna start with medium to medium high heat. So my stovetop goes by numbers, so like between a 5 and a 6 is usually what I do. And while the pan's heating up, I'm just gonna prep my canned goods. So I'm gonna open my can of beans and my can of tomatoes. So I actually did end up using a 28-ounce crushed tomato can. And this one, I would just recommend using a large, like 28-ounce size tomato can. If you're going for like Mexican style taste, some canned corn in here is also really good, and it will increase the fiber as well. And we're just gonna rinse off our black beans in the sink with a little strainer. And once our pan is warm, we are just gonna go ahead and add our ground turkey and let that brown for about like 5 to 7 minutes, basically until you don't see much pink anymore, and I kind of flip it over halfway through. The amount of time will kind of vary depending on your stovetop and what kind of pan you're using, so just use your best judgment and basically just cook it until you don't see the pink anymore. And next up, we're going to get into seasonings. So this is where you can kind of play around with what flavors you want to do. So obviously salt and pepper is going to be the baseline. And then I'm going for more of like a Mexican vibe here, but I've also tried Italian style and it's just as good, and you can just swap out like the black beans and corn for another vegetable, and that would be great. When I make this Mexican style, I like to do onion, paprika, chili powder, garlic powder, and cumin. Also, depending on how much time you have, you can make this meal even easier by just dicing up the bell pepper and adding it to the stuffing. At the same time, you add the onion, and then you can just make stuffed pepper bowls, is what I call them. I've done that before, and it still tastes just as good, and you can skip the entire baking of the bell pepper part. But since we're doing the full out version, right here we're just gonna add in our onions and let that saute with the seasoning just until translucent, about a minute. And to add in just a little bit more flavor, I decided to do the juice of 1 lime. Next up, I added in my black beans. I think I added 1.5 cups of black beans, or maybe I just added 2/3 cup, I'm not really sure. But just add to your liking, and then here I added in my diced tomatoes, and then I was like, I need more tomatoes, so I decided to add in crushed. You'll see in just a second. Here we go. So for this recipe, I would definitely just recommend doing a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Just skip the diced 16-ounce can of tomatoes step. And as our stuffing is almost done, I got the bell peppers out of the oven because they were getting a little roasty toasty. And our quinoa was finally finished, so I added about 1.5 cups of quinoa. You can add it to your liking, however thick or thin you want your stuffing to be. And here I'm just mixing everything to combine the quinoa into the sauce, and now we are ready to stuff our peppers. Also on the side, my boyfriend made some guacamole, which is extra fiber and yumminess. So to stuff the peppers, there's no really art form to doing this. I just flip them over so they're face up, and then I just add the stuffing into them. They do get pretty messy, I will say, if you want to do it the way that you just cut off the top and you have the entire pepper. That would make them a little bit more aesthetic, but in my opinion, within like 1 minute of eating, everything's falling apart anyways, so I just decided to cut out that step. I covered them with mozzarella and put them back in the oven for about 5 minutes, and then I broiled for 1 minute to get some nice color on the cheese. I put them in the bowl with stuffing on the bottom just for extra protein, and then I add the pepper on top, and then I did some guac on the side, and I like to eat it sometimes with tortilla chips or anything we have basically at home. And here's the final product. This is such an easy, delicious, nutritious, and high value meal. I got all my ingredients at Aldi, so it was extra affordable. I hope this video was helpful. Comment below if you guys made it, and I hope you enjoy, and I hope you have a lovely week. Bye guys.